Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. Warm spring like temperatures in the east with record highs coming for the middle and latter part of this week in many places. Winter, however, has resumed. Not that it really stopped very long anyway, but it continues in the western part of the United States. And we're going to take a look at the long range, which does not really show too much changing in the next 10 days to 2 weeks. That's all tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show at 7:35 p.m. Other Weather in 5 brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York, and Southwest Suffolk County on Long Island. So you'll be transitioning over from salt to mulch as you landscape your yard to make your house look great or landscape the outside areas of your business. Give them a call, 631-756-1125. The phone number for the best prices anywhere, omnitruevalue.com is the website. So it's been all about a warmer than normal pattern in the east and a colder than normal pattern in the west. Nothing really much is changing this week other than the fact that activity in the west is picking up, and we have a slew of winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories up for parts of the southwest. That includes Arizona, southern Utah, the southern half of Colorado, into northern New Mexico. Also in the Pacific Northwest, anytime you see winter storm warnings up for the western parts of Oregon and into Washington state, that is not a winter pattern for the east. Clearly, it's the exact opposite. It's going to be warm and spring-like in the east in the coming days. We also have winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories across Montana and parts of Idaho. Some watches are now up for the eastern Dakotas and into western Minnesota. So you kind of get the idea just from looking at the watches and warnings map that your mean trough is out in the west and you've got a mean ridge in the eastern part of the United States. That has been the driving force since the days after Christmas, and nothing much is changing, certainly not this week, from what we see. So on the satellite view, it's a nice day for just about everybody east of the Rockies, although there are some clouds up in parts of the northern plains. We've got a storm offshore that grazed some areas from New Jersey to Long Island and southeastern New England with a little bit of rain. That's gone, so we move that out of the way. So it's nice. There's no cold air. Temperatures rising up into the and topping out in the 50s. While in the west you see areas of cloud cover as we begin to see storminess, shortwave troughs that'll be dropping into the western part of the United States, and each one will produce rounds of winter weather from place to place. Radars are fairly quiet in the east. We really don't have too much happening. There's a little upper trough moving across northwestern Virginia and southern Pennsylvania with a little bit of precip aloft there. Rain is offshore southeastern New England. Otherwise, the radars are quiet until you get back down into parts of southwest Texas and over into New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, southern Colorado, and also on up in the northwestern part of the United States. So, as far as precipitation is concerned, in the east, it looks like Thursday into Friday, not continuous, but that's the threat time. And we're looking at about a quarter to a half an inch from Pennsylvania and New Jersey northeast up into New England. Higher amounts as you head down the Appalachians and across the south, where we're seeing anywhere from 3/4 of an inch to an inch and a half. Also, a half to 3/4 of an inch from Kansas northeastward into the western lakes. Pockets of heavier precip in Arizona, Colorado, and New Mexico. Also up in Montana, northwestern Montana, northern Idaho, and then you see for Washington and Oregon, particularly in the western half of the state, where we're seeing chances for liquid precip of anywhere from 3/4 of an inch on up to about 1 to 2 inches, and of course that's going to come with heavy snows in the Sierra Nevada, in the Cascades, I should say. Large, high probabilities of at least 2 inches. And in fact, we have 50% or higher probabilities getting very close to the coast in northwestern California, in western Oregon, western Washington, large area of 50% or higher probabilities from Montana to Wyoming, and then east into South Dakota, northeastward into Minnesota. Also, very high probabilities in central and southern Colorado, down into New Mexico, and back over into Arizona. And needless to say, when we look at what's going on in the east, except for a couple of pockets in northernmost Vermont and New Hampshire, where we have about a 10 to 20% chance, even these areas, folks, are lacking in any kind of snowfall. And in the long range, going to Thursday into Friday, it's from Iowa northeastward into Michigan as far as snow is concerned. Saturday, it moves up to well up into upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, where there could be the probability of 10 to 30% for at least a few inches. And then by Sunday, it's all but gone. So, anyhow, here's how we play it out for this week. Our low pulls away. There's a little bit minuscule amounts of cold air that comes in. That's put it in quotes too. For tonight into early Tuesday morning. Big deal. It takes temperatures down to the 30s to near 40. We'll be back up into the 50s during the day on Tuesday. Wednesday, I think we see a good chance here of a west wind developing. And while we might start the day off with some clouds, you see snow up in Minnesota. You see rain up over the Great Lakes and a little bit of shower activity in western Pennsylvania during the early morning hours on Wednesday. If we break out into enough sun, temperatures are going to climb up into the low and middle 60s. And if we really break out into enough sun, this is the time of year where temperatures can outperform easily. And we could see pockets of 65 to 70 from northeast Virginia on up into eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. South-facing shorelines will probably have some sea breeze issues. Then as we move on to Thursday, it'll be in the 60s, another low. So here's your first low that comes out of the southwest and runs up to the western lakes. Here's a second low that comes out of the southwest. This one tracks a little further east, but still to our west. Could bring some showers here Thursday morning with a warm front going by. 60s again, potential for record highs on Thursday. And then we'll probably see some showers and maybe even a thunderstorm or two late Thursday night into midday Friday before that front goes offshore. And then, again, another quick shot of cold air that comes in Friday night into Saturday, only to see those temperatures moderate quickly as we move into Sunday and Monday of next week. There just is nothing that I see that shows any kind of changes coming in the next 10 days or possibly in the next 2 weeks. Weather in 5 is brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York. 631-756-1125 is the phone number, and the website is omnitruevalue.com. So we'll leave you with the U.S. satellite loop here. And again, a reminder, the Joe and Joe Weather Show tonight at 7:35 Eastern Time. So we'll see you then.